Hello students, welcome to YepMaster. So in our last class of electrostatic, we talked about the field created by point charge, field created by various distribution, right. So in last class we just discussed how much is the field produced by the straight wire. Of field created by all the element on the wire at this particular point, which is a say distance r, we got two component of field, one along x direction, another along y direction. So we got two component of field perpendicular to the rod and along the rod Ey, right, after integration. So if I want to write in vector form, that vector will have two component, one along x axis, let this be x axis and this be y axis. So one along x axis, another along negative y axis. So after simplifying, we got k lambda r in bracket sin alpha plus sin beta, that was x component, right. So this is representing x component of field, and then this one is representing y component, right. So we have done this in last class. Now if I extend this wire till infinity, that means if I take infinitely long wire, so as wire get extended to infinity, these angles start tending towards pi by 2. So this beta will tend to pi by 2 and this alpha will tend to pi by 2. So for infinitely long wire, let us assume that this wire goes up to infinity, right. So this goes up to plus infinity and this one similarly goes till minus infinity. So alpha will become pi by 2 and beta will become pi by 2, and you can see from the expression, if I substitute alpha pi by 2 and beta pi by 2, sin pi by 2 1 and this one 1, 1 plus 1 2, right. So x component at this particular point you are going to get, this will become 2, so this expression will become 2k lambda by r. Now look at the y component, cos 90 0, cos 90 again 0, so this component will be 0. So there won't be any y component, there will be only x component. So field around infinitely long wire will be away from the wire, perpendicular to the axis of the wire. That means for this particular point it is in this direction, and for this particular point somewhere here it will be in this direction. So if I redraw, or if I take a circle around it whose center is at the wire, so visualize the situation like we have got infinite wire and around it I have taken a circle whose center is on the wire, right. So at every point on the circle, magnitude of field will be same, but the direction will be perpendicular to the axis. It will be something like this. So around this infinite wire, the field lines or electric field will be perpendicular to the wire in outward direction. If I make the distribution negative, this is for positive distribution, right. If I make the distribution negative, if this is negative, then these two will get reverse, right. This will come towards the rod and this will be in this direction, right. So for infinitely large wire which is negatively charged, field will be towards the wire, right. So this is the way we have field distribution in a space. So because of infinite wire we have this result, we have to remember this result to directly apply. Now for semi-infinite wire, if I take semi-infinite wire, I already told you what's the meaning of semi-infinite wire. Semi-infinite wire is again infinite wire where we want to find out the field at the end or near to the end of the infinite wire. So you can see again there will be two components, right? Again there will be two component, x component, this angle alpha, as there is no part on this side, the alpha will be 0. As this goes till infinity in this direction, beta will be pi by 2. So if I substitute alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to pi by 2, alpha 0 and beta pi by 2. So here you substitute alpha 0 beta pi by 2, then this quantity will be k lambda by r. So x component of the field in this direction will be k lambda by r, k lambda by r, that will be the x component at this particular point. What about the y component? Now if you substitute alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to pi by 2, beta is equal to pi by 2, this value will become 0, alpha is equal to 0, this value will become 1, this minus and this minus will make it plus, and value will be k lambda r. So y component will be k lambda by r. The resultant of these two here will be in this direction, right? So if I take semi-infinite wire, the field in space will be something like this. I hope this point is clear. Resultant will come exactly making 45, right? Both the components are same, resultant will be making exactly 45. So it will be something like this. If I take circle, for example, I have taken circle like this, right, and at this particular point field will be this way, at this particular point field will be this way, here field will be similarly for this particular point making 45. So if I take field somewhere here or at any point at distance r, the field lines will be making 45 and this way in a space. So I hope field pattern and the magnitude of field both are clear for this straight finite, infinite or semi-infinite linear distribution. Now let us move to next distribution, ring. So I want to find out field due to ring at this particular point. Assume that ring is positively charged. And I want to find out field at distance r, right. So because of the element somewhere here, field will be like this, right, making angle theta. This angle is theta, so this angle will be theta, right. So this angle will be theta. Now if I draw this point somewhere here, then because of this element field will be in this direction, d making angle theta. Similarly if I take the element somewhere here, because of this element say in this direction, because of this element it will be in this direction. As you can see that their x component will get added up, but their y component will get subtracted and the resultant in y direction will be 0. So there won't be any component of field perpendicular to the axis, field will be only along axis, right. So what I need to do, I need to integrate d cos theta. So I will integrate d cos theta to get the field along x axis, right. So here this is Ex. Look at this term. If I have taken a small charge here dq, let total charge is q, and I have taken a small charge dq. So because of this dq charge at this particular point, field is, if this is capital R, this is small r, this separation will be under root capital R square plus small r square, right. So because of the element field at this particular point is k dq divided by separation whole square, r square plus small r square under root whole square, right, into cos theta. This angle is 90 degree, this angle is theta, base upon hypotenuse, r divided by under root r square plus small r square, right. This integration will give me field along x axis. Now look at all the term involved. K constant, r at fixed distance we want to find out the field, this r is constant, capital R that is the radius of ring, that is also constant. So these all terms are constant, only variable is dq. That means I need to integrate charge. So total charge on the ring, so this will give you q, capital Q after integration of dx, that is x, right. So if I integrate this one and put limit, then I will get q here, and this will become r square plus small r square to the power 3 by 2, right. I hope it is clear. Now if I simplify this one, then I will get kq, here I am representing capital Q as the total charge. So instead of taking this as a small q, here it is taken as capital Q. So this is capital Q. So similarly here this will be capital Q. So this is the expression of field produced by ring at some distance r, or you can also call this distance as x. So this x is nothing but r according to the diagram, right. So the same procedure, charge is uniformly distributed, we got the field produced by a small element at this particular point. As the field was changing its direction, we resolve the component and we integrated, right. So after integration we got this field. Now look at this function, at x is equal to 0, this value is 0. So x is equal to 0, the value of field is 0. As you go till infinity, take this x square out. So this can be written kq, this is x, if I take x square out, this will become x cube r square, right, divided by x square plus 1 to the power 3 by 2, right. This and this will get cancelled out, here x square will be there, and if x is tending to 0, x tending to infinity, this term will be 0, this whole term will be tending to again 0. So the field due to ring at the center of ring is 0, and as you go till infinity it keep reducing, it again becomes 0, right. So possibility is the field may have achieved its maxima somewhere in between, and then it gets reduced. So from 0 to 0 field reaches to its maxima, then again it becomes 0, right. So let us check the condition for maxima. So if I ask you to find the point where field achieve its maxima, so what we need to do, we have to differentiate field with respect to x and equate it to 0 to get the maximum field. So to get electric field maximum value, we need to first find out the location where field is achieving its maxima. To do so, we can use the concept of maxima minima. So as field is achieving its maxima, we will differentiate this function and equate it to 0, right. These two are constant. So I can take k q out and then I will differentiate the function. Look at this one, I am differentiating it by, this is one term, this is another term. So first I will differentiate this term, fx into gx, I am differentiating it, right. So first term, differentiation of this will become 1 and differentiation of this one will be r square plus x square to the power 3 by 2, right. Now keeping this x same, now I will differentiate this term. So differentiation of minus 3, if I get this term up, then this will become minus 3 by 2. If you differentiate, this will come in front. So 3 by 2 will come in front with minus sign, and then this will become r square plus x square to the power 5 by 2 into the differentiation of x square. Differentiation of x square will become what? 2 times x. So you can see this 2 and 2 will get cancelled out, and this we need to equate to 0. So when you equate this to 0, you will get x is equal to r by root 2. So for any such expression in future, we can directly say that field will achieve its maxima at r is equal to r by root 2. You can keep this point in mind. If expression is written in this form, x divided by something square, some constant square plus x square to the power 3 by 2, then maxima of this function comes at r is equal to x is equal to r by root 2. That means as you move from center of ring towards r by root 2, field first increases and at r by root 2 it achieves its maxima and then it starts reducing. Same thing will happen if you go in opposite direction. The only difference is when you are on this side of ring, field will be away from distribution like this, and when you are this side of ring, field will be away from distribution like this. If we are drawing field in vector form, right, I am considering that this is positive direction of field, this is positive direction of field, and this one is negative direction of field, and I want to plot the variation, I want to plot this variation, right. So the plot will be something like this. So at x is equal to r by root 2, this side field will have maximum magnitude and afterwards it decreases. Similarly, if you go this side, then field will have maximum magnitude at x is equal to r by root 2 and then field decreases, right. Here we are drawing this curve below because I have taken this direction negative. This is the curve between field and distance from center of the ring. That can be x, that can be r. In this situation I am considering that to be x. So x is the distance from center of the ring. I hope this point is clear. So what we have done, we took the small element, got the field at a point on the axis of the ring, and due to all small element we added their contribution, right. we resolve the component to add the contribution because the quantity we are talking about is a vector quantity, right. So, after simplifying we got this expression, right. So, important result directly you can use. So, keep this in mind. Now, let us move to next one. So, instead of ring where charge was continuously distributed, if I take 3 particle, say Q, Q and this one Q, right, and from center I take this distance x and let this distance be r. R. So, from centroid the distance where we want to find out field is x and charges are kept at distance r. If I ask what is the field at that particular point due to these 3 charges, right. Now, again if you see, situation is similar to what we have just discussed. From center every element was at same distance and from center of ring at distance x we wanted to calculate field, radius of ring was r. So, situation is same and the result is also same. Now, if you look at this one, this will create field in this direction, right, this will create field in this direction at an angle theta, whatever be this angle, right. Similarly, this will produce field in this direction and that will produce field in this direction. So, there will be field produced by these 3 particles in this direction and this direction. If you add, their cos component will get added up. So, this is the field produced by 1, right. So, their cos component will get added up and in this situation I can write that net field is equal to this distance k q divided by x square plus r square cos theta. Cos theta is what? Base upon hypotenuse, x divided by under root I am writing here directly 3 by 2, right. So, this is the component of field produced by 1 in this direction, all 3 will produce the same component here. What I need to do, I have to multiply this whole expression by 3 and if you look at this one, previous case the charge was q and the net field we got was k q divided by x square plus r square to the power 3 by 2 into x. So, you can see this 3q is replacing this q. So, I can write that whatever be the total charge here in this place and I will directly get the same expression, right. So, if you remember the result for ring, you can easily get the result for all these type of cases. For example, instead of 3 charge particle, if I have 4 charge particles on the vertex of square, if I keep 4 charge particle and I ask what is the field at distance x from the center of square, see this one. So, now with this logic I can directly write result. What is the total charge? If this is q, this one is q, this is q, then total charge is 4q. So, in this one in this one, to directly get result by shortcut method, I can directly write k 4q into x divided by x square plus r square to the power 3 by 2. This is the field in this situation, field at this particular point. Only thing you have to keep in mind, this r is nothing but this distance. So, this distance is r from here to here, this one is r. So, from center of square, all the particles are kept at distance r, that distance we need to substitute here. For example, if this is given as a, generally edge length will be given to you. So, you can establish the relation between a and r. This total is 2r, that 2r is, this total is 2r, that 2r is equal to, this one is a, this one is a, this has to be root 2a. So, I can write root 2a is equal to 2r. What is the value of r in terms of a? R is equal to a by root 2. So, this I substitute here. So, if you remember this one, you have to directly, you can directly get the result by substituting the total charge here, and by substituting the value of r. So, in that way, this result, ring result, is helpful for all these situations. You can extend the same logic, even we have particles kept on hexagon, pentagon or octagon. So, for all such cases, we have this result valid, right. If I just make one of the charged particle 2q, remaining are q and this one is 2q, that means now y component will also come into picture, but the x component I can directly write using the same logic. Instead of the total charge 4q, now total charge will become 5q. So, here I write 5q, but that will give me only x component. For y component, I can find out using this one. All q will cancel each other at this particular point. One q which is left, that will produce the field in this direction, right. So, symmetric distribution, straight away we can say that field will be along x axis, and the magnitude of field is given by this expression, where this represents the total charge and this r is the distance of point charges from center of the square, triangle, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, any symmetric distribution, right. So, I hope this point is also clear. Let us move to next one. So, we have just derived the result of ring, right. So, at distance x, formula is kqx divided by x square plus r square to the power 3 by 2, right. And direction of field for positive charge is away from distribution. If I substitute x is equal to 0 here, x is equal to 0, this whole expression will become 0, we have just seen the variation. So, that means for uniform distribution on ring, field at the center is 0. Every element which is diametrically opposite, so any pair you take, diametrically opposite element will cancel the field produced by them at this particular point. That is why we are getting field at center of the ring is 0, right. So, same formula can be used to calculate the field at center. What if I take a part of this ring? arc. In this situation I have taken the arc, right. So positively charged ring and I want to find out the field at this particular point. See, the same procedure I can use. I can take element at an angle theta which is subtending angle d theta here. So this particular element will create the field in this direction, that this angle is theta, right. So dE, this part is subtending angle phi at the center, half of that, this part is phi by 2 and this part is phi by 2. So if linear charge density is lambda, then formula is K because of this element charge divided by capital R square, right. And of course we have to resolve the component because field is changing direction. If you take element somewhere here, that will produce field in this direction, right. So into cos theta, right. So this will give me component along the bisector of the ring, right. Here we can write dq is equal to lambda into linear charge density is lambda into r d theta. Like what we have done for straight wire, same thing we are doing, and at an angle theta, because it is circular, it is easy to take the element on the ring and locate its position in terms of angle. So I have taken this angle theta which is subtending d theta at this particular point, and that I need to integrate, right. So here you can see that there are two variables, one is charge, another is angle. So either I can convert charge into angle or angle into charge. It's easy to convert charge into angle. I can write constant, that is lambda, into r d theta. Now we have only one variable. I can integrate theta from this side, you have to go minus phi by 2 and this side you have to go plus phi by 2. Right. In this direction this is phi by 2 and in opposite direction this is phi by 2. As it is in opposite direction, opposite sense, this sense I am taking positive, this sense I am taking negative. So this way you have to come, that is why here it is minus phi by 2, right. So if I substitute, then after simplification I will get this one, right. Lambda I can write charge divided by length of this arc, r phi, right, r phi, which is constant. So I can substitute the value of lambda over here, and after simplification I will get this one. You know integration of cos theta, integration of cos theta is sin theta, upper limit minus lower limit, right. So integration of this one will give you sin theta minus phi by 2 to plus phi by 2. If you integrate, just focus only on this term because this whole term is constant, then this can be written sin phi by 2 minus in bracket upper limit minus lower limit sin minus phi by 2. Sin minus theta is minus sin theta. So this minus and this minus will become plus, 2 will come in front. So the whole integration will give you additional 2 that will come in front. So if you simplify, you will get 2 times, after integration of this one, 2 will come in front. This is k. In terms of lambda, if you want to write lambda r sin phi by 2, where lambda is equal to q divided by r phi, right. So this is the field produced by part of the ring. If you look at the result, one important point, sure. So I will erase this one, simple. So we are using the same logic to get the field due to various type of distribution. I hope you are understanding the procedure. Now look at this point. Say I have taken arc. Here let us say angle is alpha, this angle is beta. That means now I will get two component. I have to integrate this component and I have to integrate another component. Previous case, as it was symmetric about this axis, we were not getting any y component were getting cancelled out, we are getting only x component. But if this side part is larger as compared to this side part, obviously this side part will produce more field in this direction and it will have y component also, right. So if both the angles are not same, then obviously you are going to get both the components. So in this situation you will get one x and another y. If I ask what is x, look at this one, what you have done, you have integrated this cos, integration of cos gave you sine, limit instead of these limits, now limit will be, this will become alpha and this will be minus beta, right. So when you integrate this one, then x component will come k lambda divided by r this is k lambda divided by r sin alpha plus sin beta. X component integration of cos will give you sine, limit we have changed, we will get this one, right. Only a small change in the formula we have derived, right, to make you understand one more point. If I talk about the y component, so instead of cos coming here, now sine will come and integration of sine will be minus cos. If it is coming minus cos, then y component you are going to get Ey is equal to k lambda r cos beta minus cos alpha. Look at this result is same as the result what we have derived for the straight wire. This result is same as what we have derived for straight wire, right. This was radius r. Now this result, as it is same as a straight wire, I can extend the same logic. If I place a rod, visualize rod here, which substance, if I join, so I have got positively charged wire or rod which is subtending angle alpha and beta at this particular point, the result is same. perpendicular distance is still r, this distance is r, right. That means whatever be the field produced by this arc at this particular point, same will be field produced by this straight wire at this particular point. So, for applying formula for ring where these two angles are not same, you can make them straight and you can apply the formula for straight wire, or you can do reverse, right. If you can remember the formula for this one, make this straight and make this straight, you can apply the same formula for this wire. This way we can easily remember the formula. Remembering formula for one situation and getting the same result in another situation gives us benefit that the same formula can be applicable to the multiple places, right. So, this is the most important application, right. So, whatever be the field produced by this circular arc at this particular point, two component, same will be the field produced by this straight wire at this particular point, and two components written by the same way what we used to write there for a straight wire, right. So, circular arc over. So, what we have done till now, we have seen the field produced by ring at any point on the axis at the center. Then we saw even if we have the distribution which are symmetrically placed about the axis, the formula is same. So, formula of ring can be used for such type of distribution where 3 particles are placed at the triangle and or 4 particles are placed at the square. So, same formula can be used for all new situations where distribution of charges symmetric about the axis. Then we have seen because of ring at the center of ring field is 0 if charge is uniformly distributed. If I take a part of the ring, then formula is given by this one, right. If I take different part on both sides and try to find out the field here and here, the formula comes same what we have done for straight wire, right. So, all these if you keep in mind, remembering the formula will be very easy task. Now, let us move to next slide. So, I have taken one example to make you understand how to use these formulas, application of the formula what we have derived, right. So, simplest example I have taken. So, there is a wire which is extended from minus infinity this way to plus infinity this way, right, and charge is uniformly distributed. It goes till infinity and I am interested in finding the field at this particular point. So, if I ask what is the field at this particular point, you know formula because of a straight wire, you know formula because of this straight wire, you have just derived the formula because of this circular part. So, the field created at that point will be the resultant of field created by all these 3 segments. If I call this as first segment and I call this as second segment and let this be third segment, right. So, the first segment separately, let us see. So, this point for this distribution will have x component as well as y component of field. This is behaving as semi-infinite wire, and because of semi-infinite wire we have seen that there exists one x component and one y component, right. One x component, one y component, and values k lambda by perpendicular distance. Let the radius of this circle be r. So k lambda by r, and here this will be k lambda by r. If I take this segment which is going till infinity, this segment will have one x component away and one along. So away, again the same way, this, let this be created by first segment, I will call it E1 x and E1 y. Now because of this second segment, field created away from distribution, and this is E y or E2y, that will be k lambda r. This will create field away, and it will have one more component at this particular point, that will be along this, that is E2 x, that is again k lambda by r. I hope you are understanding what we are doing. We had formula x component k lambda by r in bracket sin alpha plus sin beta, and then we had y component as k lambda divided by r in bracket cos beta minus cos alpha, right. What I am doing for semi infinite wire, one angle will be 0, another angle will be 90 degree. So if you are substituting one angle 0 and another 90 degree, then one component will come k lambda by r, another component will also come k lambda by r. One angle is 0, another angle is pi by 2, right. Just now we have discussed. Now this diagram says that these two will cancel each other. Look at E2y and E1y, these two will cancel each other. Similarly, these two will cancel each other. That means these two won't produce any field at this particular point. So if these two are not producing any field at this particular point, net field is given by field produced by one vector, field produced by second one vector plus field produced by third one vector. These two in combination cancel each other. That means the net field coming at that particular point is only because of third one. So only because of this one, the field here will be, just now we have seen, will be in this direction. And the formula for circular arc at center is 2k lambda divided by r sin phi by 2. That was the formula for arc or part of the ring. Here this angle is 90 degree, angle subtended by arc at center is 90 degree. So this will become pi by 2 or 90 degree. 90 by 2, this will give you 45, 1 upon root 2. So this will become 2k lambda divided by r into 1 by root 2, and if you simplify, that will become what? Root 2 k lambda by r. That means field will be in this direction and its magnitude will be root 2 k lambda divided by r. As this total angle is 90, this angle will be half of that, 45, this will be 45. That means this will have two components, one in this direction, that is x component, cos 45 if I multiply, root 2 will go, then in this direction sin 45, root 2 will go, right. So here if I substitute the value of E3, then I will get k lambda r I cap, this component in this direction, root 2 into cos 45, then sin 45, root 2 will go, you will get one component in this direction and another component in this direction. So, in vector form, if I want to express the result, it will have I component, it will have j component, right. So, application of what we have derived just now is clear. Let us move to next example. Now, see this example, same as the previous one, again it contains 3 segment like segment 1, segment 2 and the segment 3, right. So, segment 1 and 2, they will also produce field. We need to find out field produced by the distribution, right. So, charge is uniformly distributed, this is going or coming from infinity and this is going till infinity, right. So, these 3 segments will produce field at that particular point, right. I want to find out the resultant field at that particular point. So, we can proceed in the same way. So, this will behave as semi infinite wire for this point, this will behave as semi infinite wire for this particular point. Now, this one will have one x component and another y component. Similarly, this will have one x component away from the distribution and another y component parallel to the distribution. So, I have just drawn field by first segment, these 2 components by first segment x and y, and because of this segment x and y, you can see that x are cancelling each other, magnitude wise they are same, right, x are cancelling each other. Their y component which were getting cancelled out in previous case, in this situation they are getting added, right. Now, third segment, semicircular ring, this semicircular ring will produce field in this direction, semicircular ring will produce field along positive y direction. So, I need to find out the resultant of this, that means field will be in y direction, I want to get the resultant. Now, what I can do, I can directly subtract y component because they are in opposite direction, I am just writing component, now I am writing magnitude, right, and as these 2 are in opposite direction I can write Ey2 plus Ey1, that will give me net field in y direction, and we know that there is no field in x direction, net field in x direction is 0, right. So, net field in y direction due to third segment, formula 2 k lambda divided by r sin phi by 2, right, that was the field due to arc. Now, here phi is what, angle subtended is what, 180 degree, so this phi is 180 degree. So, 180 degree by 2 will make it 90 degree, sin 90 is equal to 1. So, this much is the field produced by third wire, so third segment. So, I can write 2 k lambda divided by r minus, due to semi infinite wire, semi infinite wire, this y component, k lambda by r. So here I will write k lambda by r, this I will write plus k lambda by r. If you simplify, then what you will get? 0. That means x is 0, y is 0. So the net field 0i plus 0j format, right. So you can see when I add first, second, third and I write vectorially everything, they will cancel each other and I will get 0i, 0j. So I hope application of straight wire and arc both are clear, right. Let us move to next one. Similar problem, there are two wires extended up to infinity and crossing each other this way, right, making angle theta. This symbol says that it is not touching, it just crosses over it. So without touching, it just crosses over it. So because of these two, I want to find out field at point P. So field at point P, okay. So look at this one, if I extend this wire, let us call this distance as something, some x, right, and if this angle is theta, this angle will be theta by 2, right. This distance is x, linear distribution, linear charge distribution, lambda, and this angle is theta. So if I separately draw, just to make you understand, I will draw another diagram so that it will be more clear. Because of this wire, right, look at this diagram, situation is something like this. Here this distance is x and this line makes angle theta by 2, For this particular point, this wire is behaving as infinite straight distribution, right. So formula we had, that is k lambda divided by perpendicular distance, whatever be that, like perpendicular distance, sin alpha plus sin beta, and then that will be x component and this one will be y component, k lambda divided by r cos beta minus, right. So for for infinite wire, that alpha and beta both are tending to infinity, right. If I join this one to the last of the wire and join this one to the last part of the wire, then this angle you can see from here, this angle is tending to pi by 2 and this angle is tending to pi by 2, right. So pi by 2, this will become 2 and this will become 0. So this will be 0 and here this will get converted into 2k lambda divided by r, right. That means along the wire component will be 0 and perpendicular to the wire component will be 2k lambda r. So because of this wire, here at this particular point field will be, here field will be like this, let us call it field produced by first segment. Parallel to the wire component will be 0 and perpendicular to the wire component as positive charge distribution away from the distribution, and the value will be 2k lambda divided by this distance, this perpendicular distance. So if this is x, this is theta by 2, then this in front of this one, this will be x sine theta by 2. So perpendicular distance, here I need to write x sine theta by 2. I hope this point is clear, right. Now let us take next segment. So because of this another one, again I require a perpendicular distance parallel to this one, its component will be 0, and perpendicular to this one component will be like this. So let us call it E1 because of segment 1, and because of segment 2 let us call it E2. So E2 will be 2k lambda divided by x sine theta by 2, right. As this angle is theta, this will be 90, this will be 90 minus theta. Look at the diagram again. If this angle is theta, this will be 90, this is 90 minus theta. If this is 90 minus theta, this will be 90 minus theta. So this angle is 90 minus theta, theta by 2. Similarly, this angle will be 90 minus theta by 2. So as you can see that these component will get added, and these component as they are in opposite direction cancel each other. So this direction component will cancel each other and these two will get added. So as these two are getting added, I can write 2 times E cos 90 minus theta. This is the net field. And E we got 2k lambda divided by x sine theta by 2, cos 90 minus theta by 2, cos 90 minus theta by 2 sine theta by 2. So here sine theta by 2 will come. So this sine theta by 2 and this sine theta by 2 will get cancelled out, and here you will get 4k lambda divided by x, that is the net force, net field. So using the result what we have derived for any such distribution, we can get the field, right. So in any problem there are multiple segments. So break the whole problem into segments and get the field associated due to each and every segment and add them vectorially, you will get the net field like what we have done for this situation. Okay. Now let us see another one. Here there is a small change in the problem. Instead of distributing charge uniformly, now we are distributing charge non-uniformly, right. Charge is non-uniformly distributed, right. Question says find the force experienced by this point charge, right. So we can use this concept, the force is equal to what charge is kept into what is the field created by this distribution. Here theta is from positive x axis. So you can see that in first quadrant sine curve, right, sine curve will be something like this. So first quadrant positive, second quadrant also positive, and from 0 to 90 degree as you keep increasing the angle, value keep increasing. So if I want to draw distribution, you can easily see that it is non-uniform. Somewhere here, exactly here, charge density is 0. Charge density is 0, theta is equal to 0, charge density is 0. As you keep increasing the angle, density increases. So here it will be lesser denser, and as you keep moving, the density increases, and here it will be highly dense, right. As you keep moving, here density increases and it will be highly dense here, and again the same thing will happen. Here density start reducing, and again at 180 degree it will be 0, right. So distribution is non-uniform. Now so our approach is, if I can get the field due to this distribution at this particular point, then I need to just multiply charge to the field produced by the ring. So if anyhow we can get this value, we will get the force, right, if you are writing in magnitude form, right. If you get field due to ring at this particular point, then you can get the force on particle just by directly multiplying it, right. So our focus is getting field at this particular point, right. See, so let us first try to find out the field produced by the ring at the center. So here this angle is theta. I am taking a small segment here, and because of this dq charge, field here, if this is a positive charge distribution, then field will be like this. This angle will be theta. From symmetry we can easily say that their x will get cancelled out. If I take a similar element somewhere here, then it will produce field in this direction, and their x will cancel out, and their y will get added up, right. So directly let us calculate y component, because x will come 0, so I am directly calculating y component. So for y component I can write d cos theta, sorry, d sin theta. D sin theta, where d is what? Because of this element field produced here, d. So dE is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, that is k, dq divided by r square, right. dq, this dq I can write lambda into r d theta, and the lambda I can write lambda naught sin theta. So if I simplify the whole thing, then I will be getting k divided by r square, this is k, right, k divided by r square into lambda r theta, where lambda is equal to lambda naught sin theta, lambda naught sin theta into r d theta into this sin theta. if I integrate this one, then I will get the y component. Look at this one, all these are constant, this r I can take out, this r and 1 r will get cancelled out, and this I need to integrate. Limit, to get the whole ring you have to integrate from 0 to pi. So this I need to integrate from 0 to pi, right. Now sin square theta, here in integration it is coming sin square theta d theta, right. This can be written 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2. But I can use cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square theta, this result, right. Using this result I can substitute value of sin theta here, I can integrate this one. Now look at this one, d theta by 2 integration first term, and second term is cos 2 theta d theta by 2 integration. Cos will give you sin and the limit is 0 to pi, cos integration will give you sin and limit is pi, sin 2 pi is 0, sin 0 is also 0. So this whole value will become 0 over this limit, and here if I integrate from 0 to pi, then I will get pi by 2. So that means the whole integration, in whole integration I will get just pi by 2 in multiplication, right. So if I simplify, then I will get this way, this is field. So field is coming after simplification and the direction is in this direction, right. That is why we are writing in vector form minus j cap. In this field, if I am keeping this charge, then the force experience will be F is equal to Q into E. Substituting the value of E over here, I will get the value of force, right. I hope this example is also clear. I have taken this example to make you understand what to do when we have the non-uniform distribution. So procedure is again same, only thing is the density is non-uniform. As density is non-uniform, you can substitute the value of the lambda and then you can integrate and you will get the result. So procedure is exactly same, distribution here was non-uniform, right. So we have seen uniform distribution as well as non-uniform distribution, right. Now field strength due to uniformly charged disk. So I am distributing charge only over this surface. So charge is distributed only on this surface, only one side, right, this way, and due to this distribution I want to find out field at this particular point. So I can assume this whole disk is made up of ring of different radius. I can assume that this whole disk is made up of ring of different radius. Let the radius of disk be capital R. So this radius I have taken capital R, and over the disk I have taken ring of radius small r of thickness dr. So thickness of this one is dr, right. So as we know the result of ring, I can use the result to get the result for disk. So I will add the contribution of all the ring of different radius at this particular point and I will get the total field created, right. So what is the charge on this? If I assume that surface charge density is sigma, charge is distributed over surface. So I can write charge on this ring dq is equal to surface charge density into area of ring. If you cut this ring and make it straight, periphery is 2 pi r and the thickness is dr, it will be something like this. Periphery is 2 pi r and thickness is dr. So the area of this one will be 2 pi r dr, sigma into 2 pi r dr is dq, and the expression we have for ring, field produced by this elemental ring will be equal to k, whatever we are getting charge, dq, whatever distance we want to calculate, x divided by x square plus r square to the power 3 by 2. This is the field produced by this elemental ring, and if I integrate, then I will get the total field, right. If I integrate this one, this expression, then I will get in this format sigma upon 2 epsilon naught, and here for this point let this angle be alpha. So you will get expression sigma upon 2 epsilon naught 1 minus x divided by under root x square plus r square after integration, upper limit minus lower limit, you will get this result, and in that one if you substitute in terms of alpha, you can write sigma upon 2 epsilon naught 1 minus cos alpha, right. So this is the field produced by disc, easy to remember. Join this periphery to this particular point, this angle will be alpha, 1 minus cos alpha we have to write, instead of remembering this expression, it is easy to remember this expression, right. Now instead of taking disc, if I take infinite sheet, right. So somewhere here this is extended up to infinity, this is extended up to plus infinity, this is extended up to plus infinity, this is extended up to minus infinity, and here charge is uniformly distributed and surface charge density is sigma only. Right. So surface charge distribution is uniform and surface charge density is sigma, right. Now I want to find out result for this one. I can assume this to be made up of infinite straight wires, where all the wires are creating field at this particular point, I will add the contribution, I will get the total field. Or else I can take the ring, because of ring I know the result and I need to just integrate from 0 to infinity, right. So on the surface I will take the ring, and in the limit I can make from 0 to infinity, or I have already considered the field produced by the whole disc. In that if I substitute r tending to infinity, right. So in the expression sigma 2 epsilon naught 1 minus cos alpha, now look at this one, if this is going till infinity, this angle will be tending to pi by 2. If this angle is tending to 90 degree, then this term will be tending to 0. So as r tends to infinity, this term tends to 0, this expression comes sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. So field created by infinitely large sheet at one point on this side, which is at some distance x, is independent of x. This field is independent of x. That means everywhere field will be same. This is the example of uniform field. Keep in mind that we have distributed charge only on one side, not on both sides. If charge is distributed on both sides, then we have to add the contribution of charge on this side also. So charge is only on one side and we are getting field produced by this side of charge at this particular point, which is coming independent of x. So irrespective of whether you are at 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter or 4 centimeter, everywhere field will be uniform. So in our next class we will talk more about uniform and non-uniform field, right. So, download the assignment what I have given on this particular topic and start applying the concept what we have discussed today, right. So, hope you enjoyed today's class. Thanks for watching.